So here's the thing about counting calories and playing the whole energy expenditure game. We all know these cardio machines vastly overestimate the number of calories they say you burn. And even if you're balls to the wall, high volume, failure, super heavy lifting, you're really not burning that many calories. Maybe a couple hundred tops. A little bit more if you're a very large, very strong person. And we also know that regardless of calories, just the intensity and or volume of your training sessions can cause a massive reduction in your energy expenditure for the rest of the day. So I have a handy dandy little trick that I use so I don't have to overtrain and undereat, but I can still end the day in a slight deficit. And it's simple, really. When I want to eat more, I purposefully increase my step count that day. Now, what does that mean practically? What are some recommendations? All right. First of all, everybody should be walking. We are bipedal for a reason, and it's a simple, actionable way for people of all ages to sort of run the motor for a little bit each day. Even if you're not a gym goer or at all interested in fitness, just for general health, stress reduction, and a myriad of other reasons, walking is a thing that you should probably make a little bit of time to do each day. And the good thing about walking is that unlike formal exercise where you got to go somewhere or come up with a program or get a coach or whatever, you don't really need to do any of these things with walking. Most smartphones now come with a built-in fitness app or at a minimum a step counter. And a simple, easy rule of thumb is every day try to hit at least 9,000 steps. Why 9,000 as a starting point? Well, first of all, 9,000 is give or take your leg length, stride length, whatever. It's roughly about 4 miles. So the average adult working person moves about 2.5 miles if you count, getting up, going to your car, going to the office, doing errands, things like that. So you're already at 2.5 miles a day, going off the metric of a mile is something like 2,250 or 2,500 steps. So if you just do a couple things to extend your step count, like park further from the entrance of your office, park further from the entrance to the store, take the stairs instead of the elevator, etc., and then maybe toss in like a 10-minute walk after dinner, you'll be right around 9,000. The other reason why I like 9,000 as a number is a lot of cultures use 10,000 in language as synonymous with like a crap ton or infinity or just a bajillion. 9,000 is essentially 10,000. It just sounds a lot less and it sounds a lot easier. So for people just kind of beginning their fitness journey, I find the number 9,000 steps a little bit easier of a sell than 10,000, even though it's essentially the same thing. By the time you make 9,000 a habit, you'll be going 10,000 plus every day without even thinking about it, most likely. So that is kind of the base amount of daily movement that I generally recommend for most people, whether you're into fitness or not, just to maintain general health. And that seems to be manageable both from a time and an effort perspective. Again, because you're already 2/3 of the way there by the end of the day, you just need to tack on a little bit on the tail end. So my hack, my trick is this. Days that I lift, and I'm sure many of you feel the same, those are the days where I can just absolutely pound food. And even though, particularly after a good lift, I do have a reason to eat, marginally more food, I don't necessarily want to go overboard because then it becomes unsustainable. At least to my ends, which are to remain relatively lean and have as good a health metrics as I can as I get older. The other thing is not only will I be more hungry, but I will tend to lean towards a bit more of the office side of things and the administrative work that I have to do, as opposed to being out and about in the field and expending more energy. It's the whole Ponzer's paradox, nature, downregulation of energy, you trying to fight the system with doing extra exercise type thing. So what I like to do that I've found is tremendously robust as a additional stimulus to stay lean, even with significantly greater calories on lifting days. I try to increase my step count by 50% or even as much as double. So those are the days where I'll hit, 12, 14, 18,000 steps. That checks a ton of boxes. First of all, the obvious, extra caloric expenditure, especially if I'm out in the heat, going up and down stairs. But the other thing it does is it's a massive hunger suppressant too. And this is another one of those tricks that I use to keep me from snacking during the day. I feel the urge for a nibble, I go for a walk, and it goes away. So let's go back to this pie chart again. We've already pulled the exercise lever. We can affect TEF, the thermic effect of food, by good nutritional choices. We can affect our BMR by maintaining a decent amount of muscle. And then by upping our steps, we check that NEAT block too. If you're going to the gym and busting your hump every day, that's fantastic. But if after that, you just sit in the office or sit on your couch, you're missing out on a massive opportunity to not only improve your health, but to dramatically increase your daily caloric expenditure so you can enjoy a little bit more food, but stay lean at the same time. Consistency is a superpower. Stay in the fight.